of high spots and low shots, I'm not going to waste any time. My low shot's The Miz.
Yeah, he is.
Loses the Intercontinental Championship in his first defense, and not only that, in the grander scheme of things, makes history in the worst possible way. By losing the same championship in a 24-hour span twice. First time to Bad News Barrett, and now this time.
Way to suck, Miz.
Yeah, even with this gimmick that's just clicking on all cylinders. Almost makes me wish that before we do Ziggler and Miz one-on-one again, I honestly wouldn't mind a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship with the stun doubles involved. Like R. Ziggler versus Damien Mizdow versus Miz versus Ziggler. I think that'd be pretty cool. But, yeah.
I love that.
Well, you know what? I think those four guys in a multi-match like that, it'd be nice if you wanted to hold off and Miz and Ziggler doing yet another one-on-one match. But I've been enjoying their feud regardless. I think they've been having entertaining matches. I'm enjoying the stun doubles, especially when I really say that, of course, I mean Damien Mizdow, who was just exceptional during this
R.
match.
Ziggler's been pretty good, too.
Yeah.
But he's not nearly as good as Mizdow, but he's been pretty good.
Yeah, when he's on TV, he's definitely good. But I think also I put the emphasis on Mizdow because R. Ziggler wasn't even present tonight.
Right.
So he definitely takes the cake. But yeah, Miz bringing it back. Just he's my low shot because he had a really awful night tonight.
He really did, didn't he?
Yeah. So who's your low shot?
My low shot. I think, it's tempting to be a snarky jerk and be like, my low shot's Dean Ambrose because he's now in a frickin' program with John Cena and competing with him. But I think the way he handled it and the fact that his music was the one that was playing to close the night, I can't do that because I feel like even though he is in this program with John Cena, he actually managed to get the upper hand tonight somehow, which to me, I mean, holy crap, that's a huge deal. He's going to end up being my high spot for that, just so you know. But my low shot, man, I am going to say that my low shot is Bo Dallas.
I think that's an excellent choice. I mean, just given our discussion about the whole match. First of all,
he's fallen so far. Actually, no. Yeah. You know what? My low shot's going to be Seth Rollins. And the reason I say that isn't necessarily because of the match. It's because of the fact that he has made so many enemies, and now he's made the ultimate enemy, John freaking Cena.
Yeah, and not only that, and I think that's kind of what you meant about so many enemies. I mean, even his support system is starting to erode, because one thing we didn't mention with the first beatdown that opened the show, when Triple H and Stephanie put Kane and Orton in their respective matches, they just had looks on their face like, seriously, we're playing babysitter again. And even Orton said, tell Mr. Money in the Bank to stop creating fires that he can't put out himself.
Yeah.
And that's what actually led to the whole
interaction. What a great line, too.
Orton has been so on his game that I want to make him a high spot so bad, but I only want to do that if I know a program with freaking Lesnar is confirmed. That's another thing, too, that I want to say. I don't know if it's a sign that Raw's gotten that bad, or maybe that I've just become a bigger Randy Orton fan, but I'm really enjoying any time he's on TV. And I think I felt that way for quite some time now, actually. You can even go as far back as when he actually won the belts. I think I've become a much bigger Randy Orton fan this whole time. So, I love that line from him as well. I wouldn't even mind if him and Rollins had kind of an implosion and they had some matches together. I think that'd be very entertaining. But, yeah, that's what caused Rollins to want to smooth things over with Randy. So I actually like your choice because it seems like if this was a war, Seth Rollins is the one guy getting shot at from both sides at this point, because how much longer are Kane and Randy Orton going to put up with this crap?
Not much.
With that said, let me see. You know what? I normally, when I do the low shot that I did, I like the high spot and the low shot to kind of correspond. But I'm going to say, you know what? My high spot is Rusev. Yeah, it's going to be Rusev because he pursued the rematch. Well, specifically Lana did, but of course Rusev signed onto it. And he got the win. You could say, oh, Henry was injured or this, that, and the other. But I think the fact is it was a babyface fully embracing adversity and coming out on top. If that doesn't deserve a commendation, I don't know what does. So big ups to Rusev. I really do hope at this point that Sheamus is in his future for Hell in a Cell. I think these guys could have a great championship bout, and I would pick Rusev to win the first bout straight away. I'd make that clear right now. He's just been on such a roll that, just really putting it in that context, he definitely deserves my high spot award. So, it's going to be Rusev.
I like it.
Yeah, so that leaves the question, who is your high spot going to be this week?
Well, I kind of already said it. As much as
Right, yeah.
I'm going to make it Ambrose because it's one of those things where it's scary that he's kind of facing the John Cena machine right now. But the fact that he's handled it as well as he has so far, and the fact that he has basically taken a lot of John's kind of trump cards that he usually uses to screw people up and flipped them back at him, I love it. Like, I am super into the fact that Ambrose and Cena are not even really exchanging verbal barbs, but kind of having like these little miniature duels in promos, because it's not like they're trying to trash talk each other, but it's like they're trying to one up each other with trash talking someone else. And I think that Ambrose is actually coming out on the winning end of more than he's losing.
It's always interesting when you see two men feud for the purpose of getting to a third guy.
Yeah.
Like the most memorable instance, at least for me, and of course it's obvious I would choose this given what a big fan I was when Chris Benoit and Shawn Michaels were kind of feuding for the right to face Triple H at WrestleMania.
Right.
Because Shawn had Triple H beat at Royal Rumble, and then of course Chris won the Rumble that year, and they're like, no, I should face Triple H, no, I should, and it led to a triple threat, which seems like it may be a similar case here with these guys at Hell in a Cell. Only difference is I felt like the prior storyline that I just mentioned made a lot more sense than it did here. However, that addressed, I think you make excellent point, Ashton, that this could almost be seen as like a test for Ambrose, and as of this time, he's passing with flying colors. The way he's handling Cena, the way he's keeping the focus on Rollins, I do expect these two to turn on each other. And again, my hope would be that Ambrose puts Cena into the ground, because to me,
whoa, that means killing, John.
well, I mean, metaphorically speaking, I wouldn't mind it. If he had to use chairs or thumbtacks or whatever, anything to get Cena out of the way so that Ambrose could get his hands on Rollins, I would endorse. Because this is their feud. Really, to me, and I hate to go that far, but this is just how I feel right now. Maybe they can turn me around. But John Cena interjecting himself in this really is the equivalent of the Bellas getting involved with the Divas Championship.
Yep.
It is just so out of place, so ridiculous. I mean, Ambrose and Rollins were building something that they could call their own, and it was one of the most worthwhile programs on the product. It almost sickens me that Cena's got his hands all over it. But again, nothing offensive happened tonight, but this is only week 1. We've got 4 weeks left. Yep. So I'm going to be watching this like a hawk, and I'm...
Like a hawk?
Yeah, like a hawk! And really hoping that Cena doesn't do anything, or doesn't do any of his corny Cena promos against Ambrose, because it's like, oh, you need to settle down and let me take care of business. I'm going to get my first crack at said. Like, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth and sit down. So I'm hoping none of that happens.
Shut your mouth.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna be even saying that to the screen if he's doing one of his Cena promos, and I'm just gonna be facing him and be like, just shut up, shut up. No, you shut up. And hopefully.
Shut your mouth, fool.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. But regardless, I have faith in Ambrose that he'll maintain his Crown connection, maybe even grow it, because maybe other fans will recognize, yeah, this is Cena encroaching on Ambrose's turf, and Ambrose, he'll stay strong through this. I think Ambrose is at that point with the fans where I don't want to say he could weather anything, but he's shown that he can plant his feet firmly in the ground and face anything with that confidence and that skill that only Dean Ambrose possesses. So good on him, and yeah, that's my final word on that. So.
That's all you got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. Yeah. So with that said, because Dean Ambrose was your high spot, and I wholeheartedly, love it, we can move on to our next segment, Raw Request. You know what?
The right order. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So my Raw Request, I think I know one. Don't repeat pay-per-view matches on a Raw.
Oh, that's never going to happen. Don't even bother.
No, I am going to bother, because, like, you make all these selling points. Well, here's another selling point. Why don't you make the pay-per-views unique and stand out and have their own identity, and don't rehash things, on a Raw? I mean, I could almost excuse the Intercontinental Championship match because, yeah, I mean, Ziggler had the rematch clause, and that's kind of happened before. But even things like that, I'm like, you really couldn't wait until Hell in a Cell, maybe.
Obviously.
sink in a little bit. And then, of course, Rusev Henry, even though I did like some of the stuff they did, it's like, really, that just, like you said, Ashton, you paid $9.99 for it, now here it is for free.
Yep.
So, it just kind of defeats the purpose. Don't go to the rehash
No, it
route.
doesn't defeat the purpose. The purpose is to get you to buy the pay-per-view. They aren't going to just give you the big matches. They're going to build the entire pay-per-view around one or two matches, have those matches finish with screwy finishes or not happen at all, and then give you one of the undercard matches or two of them for free on Raw the night after. Because they know how to get you to buy the frickin' pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, everything you said was right on the money. I mean, hell, I really didn't like when they did it with just a few weeks ago when they advertised Rollins versus Reigns early. And the only reason I forgave it was because Reigns got injured. So I guess it was like, well, we got our match after all, and it wouldn't have even mattered. But yeah, it's never really sat right with me that WWE does do this. So I just figured, even if it's the only time I do make it a Raw request, I want to
You'll get
put it out
over
there.
that, and they know you will.
Yeah, it always happens. So, but there's my Raw request.
We
What
are
is yours?
basically the WWE's cheap whores at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they pretty much use my chest to put out their cigarettes, so I'm not really going to complain. But that is my Raw request.
Maybe a little too far, maybe?
No, I think that's just right. So let's get to your Raw request.
Okay, Raw request. My Raw request. Oh God, I haven't thought this through at all.
Oh my God.
Let's see. What did I hate about tonight? What did I hate about tonight? The main thing that I hated about tonight was the whole John Cena being inserted on Ambrose's territory thing, but it ended up working out well in the end because Ambrose got the upper hand, so I can't say too much about that. Hey, you know what? I'm going to make this a silly one. Simple Raw request. I want, on the next Raw, and this is why it's a simple one, because it only affects one. On the next Raw, I want to see the security cam footage of Ambrose escaping the closet.
Yes, me as well. I readily sign on to that. Not really much I'm even going to add on to that, so let's just move on to the final segment.